Oh, what a night it was last night. 80's night was great, and we got to go back in time with 80's music that the contestants did that they played back in the day. So let's get into it. How's it going, guys? This is Eric Sharkey, aka Dance Moves Star Superfan, back with another video. And in today's video, we'll be recapping 80's night that happened last night. And to be honest, there were a lot of great dances. They danced to some amazing hits in the 80's, and the outfits and the hair and the makeup, they were phenomenal. Of course, it did have mixed reviews on the outfits and everything that came with it, but in my mind, they did a really good job on it. And if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and smash that like button, and also turn on post notifications to get you notified by my latest Dancing with Stars content video. So without further ado, let's get started. First up is Justina and Sasha dancing the jazz to Maniac by Michael Zambello from the movie Flashdance. Derek thought it was a great way to start the show. So much fun to watch, he said. Bruno calls it wet, wild, and wonderful, and Sasha's necklace gives him vertigo. It was deliciously 80's. Carrie-Anne thought it was incredible, even with Carrie-Anne's high expectations, and she and Sasha were incredibly in sync despite one little mistake. You guys want to hear something? I hear that song pretty much every time on the PA when I'm at work, and I always enjoy listening to it. I really like the end when they splash water on Justina. Usually when you are first up to dance, you're nervous than ever, but for Justina, she came out in style and made it a great way to start the show. Despite one little misstep, it was still good. So judges' scores are, they were all 8s from the judges, giving them a score 24 out of 30. Next up is Jessie and Sharna dancing the tango to Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. Bruno said he started very well, but he went wrong several times. He also tells him that the performance and the technique needed to be at the same level, and the technique wasn't there. Carrie-Anne agrees that the technique was problematic, but he had a more confident connection to the music this time. He just needs to connect more to Sharna. Derek thought the frame was a little closed off, and he wants it open up to the crowd. I felt like the dance was a little off. I know he started off really well, but during some parts of it, he was disconnected. So judges' scores are, Carrie-Anne a 7, Derek a 6, Bruno a 6, giving them a score 19 out of 30. Next up is Chrishell and Gleb dancing the cha-cha-cha to You Got the Right Stuff by New Kids on the Block, one of her favorite groups of all time. Carrie-Anne thought it was entertaining to watch, but there wasn't enough cha-cha content. Derek loved the side-by-side movements, but she needs to close her feet and ankles, and she tends to throw her arms instead of carefully placing her movements. Bruno said only you two could turn a cha-cha into dirty dancing, but he agrees with Derek that she needs to place her feet better to improve her hip action. At least they include some moves from that dance, like the leg side-by-side move from that song. I noticed they messed up a couple times, but for this dance, her legs were not open that much, and I agree, there wasn't enough cha-cha content to it. So judges' scores are, Carrie-Anne a 6, Derek a 6, Bruno a 7, giving them a score 19 out of 30. Next up is Jeannie and Brandon dancing the jazz to one of Madonna's greatest hits, Like a Virgin. Derek said there's a confidence in Jeannie that makes it fun to watch. It was a simple and a clean routine. Bruno thought it was Madonna gone PG and in the best possible taste. Carrie-Anne called it an amazing performance, and Jeannie is the most exciting performer in the whole competition, even though she sometimes goes overboard with her energy. This was by far her best dance so far. There weren't any mistakes this time, the dance was clean, and Jeannie's outfit was gorgeous, and it had the Madonna look, which is pretty awesome. So judges' scores are, they were all 8s from the judges, giving them a score 24 out of 30. Next up is Monica and Val dancing the tango to Tainted Love by Soft Cell. Bruno thought she was like a laser guide missile with every step in place, but she needs to watch out for her posture and hold. Carrie-Anne thought it was an incredible performance from a dynamic performer. Derek thinks her clothes brushed with Elimination lit a fire under her, and this was the first tango we saw this season that really traveled across the floor. At first, I thought it had problems with the dance that Bruno pointed out, but despite the technical error last week with her in the bottom 2, they came out strong. So judges' scores are, Carrie-Anne a 9, Derek a 9, Bruno an 8, giving them a score 26 out of 30. Next up is AJ and Cheryl dancing the waltz to Open Arms by Journey. Carrie-Anne thinks his frame still crumbles sometimes, but she admired the elegance he brought into the routine. Derek appreciated AJ's control on such a slow, challenging routine, although he could see AJ trying a little too much. Bruno admired the great motion, but he needs to work on his underarm turns. I was amazed by their dance, and I felt like AJ did an excellent job. The dance had great motion, control, and a great elegance to it. Even though he had problems during that dance, it didn't matter to the judges whatsoever. So judges' scores are, they were all 8s from the judges, giving them a score 24 out of 30. Next up is Sky and Alan dancing the jazz to Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, inspired by the movie Back to the Future. Derek thought it was fun and she lights up in her side-by-sides, but when she's in hold, her energy goes down a little. Bruno said she has the styles and the moves and she survived the lips, and they told her to watch the dismounts. Carrie-Anne agrees that she needs to work on her dismounts and she needs to expand her movements because she is so petite. That was a good song choice for this dance. It had a lot of great moves in it, but at times it lost energy, but it was okay. So judges' scores are, they were all 8s from the judges, giving them a score 24 out of 30. Next up is Vernon and Peta dancing the tango to Livin' on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. Bruno said it started off well, but he went wrong a couple times, and then his footwork became flat. Carrie-Anne liked the quality of movement, but he needs to go bigger when he's out of hold. Derek thinks Vernon thrives in softer dances. With the tango, he wanted more attack, just like in the paso. I agree with the judges that the dance was flat and there were a couple of missteps, and they didn't attack the dance. Usually in a tango and a paso doble, they have to have a lot of attacks in that dance. So judge scores are, they were all 7s from the judges, giving them a score 21 out of 30. Next up is Caitlin and Artem dancing the tango to I Think We're Alone by Tiffany Darwish. Carrie-Anne thinks Caitlin was the best in frame of anyone else who danced the tango tonight. Derek thought it was a beautiful tango with great musicality. Bruno calls it an action-packed 80s blockbuster. The accents and the staccatos were great too. I call this one the best tango of the night. My favorite part of the dance was near to the end, which was the part I didn't expect. They added some 80s style dancing, which was hip hop dancing, which was pretty cool. The judges wanted to see her a different side of her, so they got what they wanted, which is good. So judges' scores are, they were all 9s from the judges, giving them a score 27 out of 30. Next up is Nelly and Daniela dancing the samba to Rhythm of the Night by Debage. Derek thought it was Nelly's best dance of the season so far, and it was a legit samba with choreographic content. Bruno thought it was so much lighter on his feet with good footwork and rhythm. Carrie-Anne said watching the dance made her so happy. Nelly really brought the party going this week, and that was so much better than last week. This time he was open, and he moved like a Jagger. So judges' scores are, they were all 8s from the judges, giving them a score 24 out of 30. This marks Daniela's first 8s of her Dancing with the Stars career. Next up is Johnny and Britt dancing the contemporary to Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. Bruno said the routine was connecting, projecting, emoting, and he filled the room with the emotion. Carrie-Anne said turn around and take a bow, consider that contemporary crush, and the artistry was incredible. Derek said it was perfect with beautiful quality of movement. I guess bringing Johnny to the ice rink worked because it had lyrical quality of movement like the contemporary because he's good at ice skating, and they really pulled it off. The first contemporary dance of the season, it went out with a bang. So the judges' scores are Carrie-Anne a 10, Derek a 10, Bruno a 9, giving them a score 29 out of 30. This marks Britt's first 10s and her first 9 of her Dancing with the Stars career as a pro. So, well done. Last up is Neve and Jenna dancing the quickstep to Take On Me by Aha. Carrie-Anne thinks Neve was one of the most consistent dancers of the season, but his balance was a little off. He looked a little far from Jenna in hold, and his movements were a little smaller than usual. Derek thought it was a great way to end the night. Bruno thought he took to the quick step like a duck to water, and he maintained the timing with the interrogate footwork. That was a fantastic way to end the night. It had great speed, and he was maintaining it very well. Despite Carrie-Anne noticing his balance was off, it was still considered a good dance. So judges' scores are Carrie-Anne an 8, Derek a 9, Bruno a 9, giving them a score 26 out of 30. Now, let's take a look at the leaderboard from last night. At the top of the leaderboard are Johnny and Britt with 29 points, Caitlin and Artem at second with 27 points, Monica and Val and Neve and Jenna tied at third with 26 points, a 5-way tie with 24 points, Sky and Alan, Justina and Sasha, Jeannie and Brandon, AJ and Cheryl, and Nelly and Daniela. Vernon and Peta with 21 points, and tied with 19 points at the bottom are Jesse and Sharna and Chriselle and Gleb. The best dances of the night are Johnny and Britt and Caitlin and Artem, while the improvements of the night are Jeannie and Brandon and Nelly and Daniela. And my favorite dances of the night are Johnny and Britt, Caitlin and Artem, Neve and Jenna, Nelly and Daniela, and AJ and Cheryl. Now let's announce the couples who are safe and will be dancing next week. Monica and Val, Nelly and Daniela, Jeannie and Brandon, Johnny and Britt, Justina and Sasha, AJ and Cheryl, Neve and Jenna, Sky and Alan, Caitlin and Artem, and Chriselle and Gleb, while the bottom two are Jesse and Sharna and Vernon and Peta. This time there were no technical errors. Bruno and Carrie-Anne vote to save Vernon and Peta, while Jesse and Sharna are eliminated. I did appreciate Jesse's best efforts, by the way. I thought he will be one of the contestants to watch this season by giving him enough time to get used to the dancing on the show while he was like fit and active like I said earlier. Well, I guess I was wrong, but it was okay. I felt like for Jesse, we didn't get to know him a little better, but in a deeper setting until this week. All he did was talk a little bit about himself and his favorite things, but not in a deeper setting compared to the others. I guess Shauna's return was short-lived, but better luck next season, if she comes back next season. I have to say the new pros, Daniela and Britt, they are doing a remarkable job this season, especially with their first seasons as pros. We already got an answer that Pasha and Daniela are the real deal, and now Britt Stewart, despite showing a lot of potential during her debut season, she is definitely the real deal, all thanks to Johnny. But it's going to take a couple more seasons, but we'll just have to wait and see. During the middle part of the show, before the commercial break, we saw a preview of the new season of The Bachelorette, which is coming on tonight. And I saw it last night, and this one is going to be one of the most dramatic seasons ever. Are we going to have 2 Bachelorettes in one season? We'll find out soon enough as the season goes on. So next week, the 11 remaining contestants will dance, while the next 2 weeks, Halloween weekend will be coming. But for this year, they are calling it Villains Night, but I'm not sure if it's official, but I'm sure they'll let us know what the theme week is for Halloween. I have to guarantee you guys, next week, we will probably be seeing our first perfect score of the season. So who's it going to be? We'll find out next week. And that'll do it for this video, so let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who are your favorite dances of that night? And who do you guys think will get the first perfect score of the season? Just let me know in your opinions in the comments down below. And lastly, thank you guys so much again for giving me 1,000 subscribers. I actually thought I was going to get 1,000 in the next couple years, but getting 1,000 subscribers close to the end of 2020 is really surprising. The more subscribers I get, the more videos I will do for you guys, because you guys keep me going, and thank you guys so much for giving me 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, so thank you guys again for doing that for me, and it really means so much to me in this channel. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Eric Sharkey, aka Dance with Star Superfan. Catch you next time.